Rapha the edge, though. But again, I feel like it depends on who's actually going to feel more execution heavy right now. Who's going to be hitting those shots more, which is a very generic thing to say, but I'm going to go with it.
Absolutely. Look, guys, it's Rapha and Evil. The game has started, and we are on the America. And at the moment, he has got himself 2 major items early on, but he's having to have a late little scrap around to get himself all the weapons necessary. Oh my god, that little trap as well from him as well. Very nicely played there, but unfortunately he decided, actually, I don't want to be approaching any further whatsoever. I'll save myself till a bit later.
Can we keep the music? This is good. I'm loving this. Actually, it's nice, nice and slow. A chill pace, but that is not what we're seeing from the players right now as the pickup of the Mega is going to be Rapha's there as he dives in. Ow, great connection there on that rail. I don't know how he hit that one. Pixel connected by Rapha onto Evil, and that's going to leave Evil reeling a little bit as Rapha finds himself a good, strong position on the red. But what's Evil to say about it? Quick rocket, perhaps, but that's about it.
And finally, Rapha can stabilize him a little bit around. He's also jigging to the beat. And about 10 seconds until the Mega spawning, he needs to somehow just clear out this room. Make sure that Evil's not able to just rush in. And being up at the top of the yellow, this is the perfect place to really stand. Have all that information so that you can safely stand back and get himself to that Mega health.
I think we should cast like this for the rest of the tournament. We've got the push coming in from Evil there onto the red armor. Able to just steal himself away. That was beautiful because he didn't take really that much damage. I think he would have expected to take more from that situation. So he's going to be enjoying that one. Rapha realizes he's on the yellow, but very important that Rapha does not connect a rail shot for Evil's sake. He did give himself up a little bit there to be shot at, but Rapha will not connect, and now back onto the red. We should be able to expect a big challenge from Evil, but you can see that Evil is not really allowing himself to be spotted just yet. He wants that big play. He doesn't want a lot of small engagements.
And Evil hasn't committed to that red armor at all, so Rapha is able to get over there. He's not taken too much damage himself, but going to the LLG, see if he can get that fadeaway rail. Not going to be landing it, but he will be able to recap his armor. Mega might be where there'll be a very big climax in terms of the fighters. That is the main difference between the 2 players at the moment, to give or take a little bit of armor from Evil's side.
And I think Evil really wants... I mean, this situation is great for Evil right now because both items are spawning more or less at the same time, giving him a chance to get position on that Mega. That's exactly what is going to be benefiting him massively right now because he'll get the pickup. Whoa. Oh, no, that is disastrous. Rapha falls down, and he gets nailed by the follow-up lightning gun. Great stuff from Evil. Rapha is definitely in a bad spot right now.
I don't think Evil even realized immediately that he had made that happen. He had to just quickly turn around, and after he heard, obviously, the audio cues, and quickly finish the job. So absolutely sublime play there from Evil. Let's see if he's going to be able to continue this a little longer. There's a very short amount of time between Red and Mega, when you'd expect his position to be well suited for both of them at this point, but he's not going to be able to stop Rapha stacking up on some of the other smaller armors on the other side of the map.
So it's just all about Evil trying to find his opponent, and it can be very difficult in this map. We talked about it a little bit earlier. To see how well Rapha can keep himself away. Obviously, he needs to pick up weapons too, so he will be able to have a lightning gun right now. But he realizes that Evil, he's going to know that Evil has basically a 200-200 stack, so he's got to be careful about his engagements. And again, we talked about that earlier. Every time he tries to take a shot, he gives himself up to losing health and armor as well, and he can't replenish as easily. And look at Evil now, he gets that damage. He's going to have the Mega. He might be going for the rocket jump, actually, or there's realistic possibilities to pursue, and Rapha's going to serve himself up on a plate.
Absolutely crushed there. Those rockets were incredible. And there's no way that Rapha's going to be getting away from that. And it's, again, those rockets that we saw earlier that Evil was doing against Sparta. You're just not able to control your movement anymore. You're a passenger in the Evil steam train.
That's not a train I would want to be a passenger on, to be honest. Evil is in a very strong position. Rapha is going to have to do... I mean, Sparty really showed us how you can get back from a position like this. Got to be able to find the spot to make the dive. You need the timing here. Rapha's just committing. He's just still facing right now. He could very easily get taken down by Evil, just constantly peeking with the rockets. Evil just getting 2 rails, and Rapha didn't really get any damage in return. This is looking terrible right now, and he will get finished off.
He's not. He can't possibly hit me with that rail. I'm only showing barely a pixel of myself to him. But yeah, Evil's going to be hitting that pixel. So unlucky Sunny Jim. Evil chasing though after that, hitting that rail. He wants to go for a rail. But if he just goes with the LG, he can probably get himself another frag. The thing is, he doesn't want to let Rapha get the turnaround. That Mega's gone up. But Rapha's positioned himself forward. This is a very strange place for the fight to take place. Place. But the Mega, I find that very unusual how that unraveled itself when both players could have tried to turn back and go for that Mega health. They decided to fight elsewhere, and Evil is just shredding, ripping him apart.
Yeah.
6-0, and he's made it look easy, which is not something you expect.
Yeah, he's rolling now. And I do wonder about some of these spots from Rapha. Again, he's at risk of going down as Evil gets himself a nice string of lightning gun damage. The follow-up is very real, but the railgun can't quite connect. He's connected some hard shots so far, and he's going to keep trying. Still got the opportunity to do so, and now he's going to get the damage through the teleporter. Although he'll get through the teleporter, but no damage. But the Mega is picked up. He's 6 frags ahead. 4 minutes for Rapha to get back into this one. If he was supposed to play a little bit defensively, Rapha is just, I mean, it just sucks for Rapha right now. There's no way to color it.
The thing is, though, that I think Evil banked a little bit on hitting that rail as Rapha was going to the red armor, because that would have stopped him from actually getting to the item. But because he didn't, Rapha's managed to get himself, what you can see at the top, he's on 200 armor at this point. So even though we've got 4 minutes left, I think we really have got a final chance for Rapha to get back into this map. It's not over just yet. Like we usually explain, it's got to be a clean kill where he's still got stack afterwards, so he's able to easily rotate on items. And look at it, he's going to rocket jump after going to 200, but is that damage enough with the lightning gun? I don't know if he was hitting solidly enough. And it's going to be a direct rocket right at the end where Evil is going to go 7-0 up. And just whatever Rapha's been trying to make work, it just hasn't happened. Is the machine going to learn as we get later into this series?
Yeah,
that's what I'm thinking.
He took so many risks, and I'm really interested to hear his opinion on some of his decisions against Evil.
Ouch.
Not trying to. I mean, we did kind of preface the matchup a little bit that he might be a little more aggressive than you would normally expect, just because he can at this stage of the tournament. And well, right now Evil's showing he is very steady. Of course, again, this is that spot we talked about it before. If you're going to try to take an engagement where you're going to die, try to kill your opponent or weaken him significantly, you have to be able to do it in a spot where there's time to pressure afterwards. And every time Evil's able to just pick armor up, health up straight away with no problem. So nothing really going the way of Rapha, and he's going to call it straight away, and I don't blame him. 11-0 against Evil, nothing was working.
7 minutes, 18 seconds into that, and we're getting it well. So far, the earliest GG that we've seen on stream so far.
Yeah.
That was actually one of the most dominant games we've seen, even though we've seen, what, a 28-1, or 28-3 from Rapha to Sparty on Hektik. That just felt extremely one-sided. I wonder how good that felt for Evil as well to make that happen. Because he wants revenge real bad, and he is so driven at the moment to get all those victories. The thing is, this is the group stage. You're not going to be eliminating Rapha at this stage, even if you beat him in the series. He needs to just make this be the beginning of that momentum that carries him through the rest of the tournament, where he can maybe even knock some of that confidence from Rapha, where he doesn't even have to face him at the end. Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, it's always going to be psychological warfare to some extent. The better players, the best players in the world, they're so used to handling it that, it's harder to gain edges there, but getting crushed is always going to affect somebody, slightly. You always have to, create methods in your mind through all the experience that you have of being in that situation to kind of reset yourself easily, to not let it get to you. But there are always days where people are going to be a little more fragile from the psychological perspective than others. Either way, Rapha is one of those most tournament-hardened veterans that we have in Quake now.
He's going to look at it quite sort of pragmatically and say, right, what went wrong? What was the error there? Maybe, I'm not saying he would have done it deliberately, but as you mentioned, those aggressive plays early on just to get those feelers out. This could very much turn into an extremely different map number 2 if Rapha decides, right, I'm going to throw a curveball in it and try something completely different than I didn't bring into the first map. It is going to be Elder. We are starting in a couple of seconds' time. Can Rapha get himself back into this series after that crushing defeat on Sinister?
That is the question, and already we see Evil getting his namesake, the LG, the weapon that has been characterized by him so effectively, and it might be the one that gets in the first frag as he gets a perfect engagement up the stairs, and Rapha is electrocuted. 1-0 to Evil, but can he keep himself alive? Because he's not too stacked after that.
That was a bit sort of cooler-esque dodging. Did you see that? He decided, right, I'm going to just stick on the left, and Rapha's going to go for the full spray with the plasma and hope that he's going to be moving from side to side. He just stood on the left and hit 100% LG. That was absolutely staggering. Let's see what his true accuracy is. 59%. That is a huge amount. I don't know if he's going to be able to sustain that for a huge amount longer, but that particular fight was dominant.
So, the one thing going for Rapha is that the key is not in the possession of Evil just yet, but for how much longer will that be the case? Because now Rapha is being drilled there by the lightning gun of Evil as he tries to bear down on his opponent, and he has full reign on the big items on the map and a great amount of space of time between them to easily run them. So right now, Evil couldn't really ask for a better start on a map like this.
He could. And let me tell you how, Dan.
Yes, do it.
He doesn't have the key.
He doesn't have the key.
Now that could be a little hooker. Let's see if we've got Rapha down here, and let's watch him a little bit. That is the one thing that Rapha's going for him at the moment. I don't know if it's going to make a huge difference at this point, because the way Evil's been playing, his just combat skills just seem to step ahead of everybody. But that's the sorry.
Yeah, no, the combat skills are, that's a really good point to make. That's been what has been so troublesome. It's such a solid base for him to work with. And you can see that Rapha's able to use the key there a little bit, opening up that rusty door. And let's see if he can get something going. I mean, this is the position we were talking about, which was important for the player, obviously, with the key to be able to use it, of course. But one thing that he would really like as the out-of-control guy is that railgun. But that said, he's able to use that position to deny Evil the correct positioning to get the items. So without even exchanging damage, he's got himself a mega, but he's taking so much damage, he falls onto Evil. This is not the engagement that he wanted.
That was actually a brilliant little trap that we just saw from Evil, but there's so little health left, but he is going to be taking it down anyway and tying the game up. He will retain control of that key, but can he hold onto his life? He's got such a little amount of health left. Evil should have a chance. Yep, he is going to get that red very quickly. Can he even go and steal the mega as well?
This is the thing, like, you know, Evil did die, but the problem is that, you know, for Rapha that is that Evil did so much damage that he can't really, you know, exert his presence on the map. So it gives Evil a lot of freedom off the spawn to maneuver around as his opponent spends time picking up health and being in the kind of the doldrums of the map, essentially. Now Rapha's going to be able to get himself back into somewhat of a respectable stack, but Evil, you know, he's not too far away. He's pretty much got the same stack. He's got a bit more health. So I want to see if he can improve that, and he will. He picks up the red armor, and now Rapha, he's kind of in trouble because Evil's going to start to think, okay, I've got enough items now. I can really start to try to force an engagement to really throw Rapha off the map, give myself the lead, and take control back, hopefully of the key as well.
But it's getting up to that top area. If Rapha's just going to hide in that part of the map, I think that's the hardest place for him to really force an engagement. It's when Rapha starts going to the other side to maybe have a look around for Evil. It's where he needs to have that great positioning where he can try and set up another trap, but make it work on the following instance. And Rapha, though, he's trying to do, well, the reverse. He's waiting for Evil to get a step out of line. Tiny bit of rocket damage, nothing much to shout about. If you can find him again, then there's definitely hope.
Here you go, he knows the mega's coming up. Right now the grenades are going in, but they're not going to connect with anything. Looks like Evil gets in front of those, gets some good damage off, but Rapha might have been able to just get himself spot onto that red armor, and Evil realizes he's too slow. So Rapha has won the battle of positioning there, and he's setting himself up for the future engagement, which maybe is coming to him much sooner than he thought. The rockets are coming out, and he's going to make it happen. Evil just finding himself at the wrong place at the wrong time.
A taste of your own medicine right there. Those rockets were surreal. That was absolutely amazing. I think Evil just being bounced around, again, a passenger on a completely different type of sneaker this time. Let's see if Rapha, is he going to push past that checkpoint? There's a lot of rockets coming through, and he's trying to be a little bit careful. And there's actually a bit of chip damage coming away at him, which Evil slowly making things work. But there it is. He decides he's going to bite now, and that's going to be 3-1. Maintaining control of that key, of the items as well. And, well, fantastic little movement we're seeing him there, getting them all as quickly as possible.
And speaking of fantastic movie, very flat rocket jump to speed across the map with precision, as he did actually spot Evil and probably has somewhat of a beat on his position. And of course the red is spawning soon, so Rapha is going to take that high position. See if he can find Evil. Obviously, there is a spot, or Rapha's going to be coming to a spot where he's going to have so much stack that he can start to take risks. If he keeps the damage on Evil, he can start to take risks and leaving things up and try to take those gambles for more frags. But does he need to do that? He's already 3-1. Maybe he doesn't, but he's going to find another engagement, and it's picture-perfect rockets from Rapha again.
What a change that we had from Sinister to Elder. That's unbelievable. Not terrible damage there from Evil, but straight away getting healed up by the mega health, then the yellow. Although Evil did just get the red armor, this could be a very favorable moment for him. He has to get a kill from this. Rapha is so weak. Finds that 50 health bubble rapidly. But what's Evil taking now? What's his backup plan? He didn't take anything after. I think he got a 25 health bubble and that was it.
Yeah, and Rapha, again, has just out-positioned him. As you say, he was deciding not to go for any items. Instead, he wanted to just say, you know what, I want to try to choke you off from these areas of the map so that I can just catch you, I know you're weak, and do the damage and get the kill maybe. And Rapha's like, well, that seems fine to me. I'm just going to go around the long way, pick up all the items. And he found a good engagement along the way as well. So Evil put himself in a bad spot there.
Oh, wow, that rocket. Somehow connecting harshly. And I wonder, even though there's 4 minutes left, say it's a lot of time on other maps, but this one, I don't know if Evil's going to properly be able to get another major dent in the scoreline.
Maybe
I should have more confidence.
I mean, Rapha did actually mess up his movement onto the red there. He dropped off prematurely. And you can see that he doesn't know now. Where should I go? He's been holding this rocket position for a while. He's like, okay, I want to try to avoid Evil. I know he could potentially have the red. He could potentially have the mega. So now Rapha is actually in a lot of trouble.
Oh, fantastic rocket. 15 health left. Where is your escape now? Just scrounging for any health bubble. But he's in such an open space, and he's going to have Evil right behind him, shaving ever more extra little pieces of his health. It's really critical condition at this point, even though one rocket, bit of algae. Again, we need to see some of those rails coming out. He's trying to cut him off. And is this going to be the kill that he needs? 3 health, and he's still landing a rail. Evil, why can't you get this frag? He gets the red, but he's still critically wounded. The megas are up on the other side. Is Rapha going to come here and disappoint him? Not yet. I think Rapha's aside, he wants to hold on to that score a little bit himself.
Yeah, that was so sick, actually, that rail after the rocket, just using the momentum that Evil gave him. Amazing. Can't believe he's still alive at this point. He gave up the entire map. He should be dead, but he is still alive.
It's ridiculous.
And there's still 2.5 minutes left for Evil to try to come back 5 frags, and Rapha still has the key, as we can see him making use of that. He still needs health, though. It's a really big problem right now. Evil needs to try to just go in there, but Rapha keeps putting himself in the sneakiest of positions there, just to listen.
I like this from him. Well, I'm going to switch over to Evil for a second to see how he's going to be chasing him. He's using that same route. Where's Rapha? Okay, I'll go back over to Evil, see about his comeback here, but I almost thought that they were in the same part of the map themselves, just hiding around that little obelisk. Lovely little shot, but we need a bit more of that, Evil, and you're running out of time. You got 5 frags to catch up from. He's showing us some fantastic movement, but that's not really going to be the recipe to success. Another rail, but he's got that red armor to take into account, and he's going to get things close, up and personal. But Rapha's rockets are just unbelievable. You cannot beat this guy on Elder. And that's GG. We get another early one. And it's gone a bit back and forth over here. I don't think I was really expecting that after we saw such an amazing play from Evil on Sinister. It's just no dent in the confidence or ego whatsoever. Rapha just comes straight back at him. I
love how we have 100% rail from Evil because he shot 3 of 3, got 3 of 3 that is, and 2 of 4, 50% for Rapha. But I mean, it shows you. I mean, Rapha, he was able to stay alive in this one because he was so clutch. Some super clutch moments, like just connecting these rockets and rails in that engagement where he gets caught off guard on the high ground when essentially Evil finally had the spot. I mean, Rapha made a mistake, but he saved himself by being clutch. So, exactly. And that's one of the reasons why this guy gets to grand finals. One of the reasons why this guy can win grand finals. So I'm hoping to see more of that. Obviously, we saw that there was quite the reset for Rapha. He was super focused into this one, and now we move on to the next map, which will be Battleforged. And it's pretty hard to... Oh, no. Okay, we're going to Bloodrun. I like that.
That's even better.
I like that much more. Yeah, I'm very good with that. That's good.
That makes things, extremely interesting. But just to go quickly on Elder, as Evil, you always think, right, I'm going to go into this fight, and I know that this is the maximum amount of damage that my opponent can do within this space of time, and it's like the time limit, so to speak, that you have to make the kill happen. Somehow Rapha always seems to exceed that extra damage limit, and it always gets that last rail off on you, or the last rocket, or just kind of tweaks that positioning somehow to just slightly bring it in favor of himself. And I wonder if he can continue that, because it's Evil was doing it in the first map, Rapha doing it in the second map. Yeah, it's a level that we absolutely love to see.
Yeah, and it just sets us up very wonderfully for what is the classic. Again, I highlighted it before. Evil, this is his favorite map. He believes it to be the most tactical map in the game. You can see very slow gameplay. You can see fast, explosive gameplay. It really depends on what's going on in the match, and hopefully that will be starting very, very soon, because I can't wait to see what is going to happen between the two players, especially because right now what that last map did tell me is that both players are starting to feel confident. Of course, Evil already, we saw that confident form from him in the first map, but we're seeing an increased, a raised level from Rapha as well. And again, the other cool thing about Rapha, if you know his history, is that when he came up, before he became very prominent in the Intel Extreme Masters days back in the old ESWC days back in 2008, that kind of time period where he really started to become a great player, he studied Kula. He studied Kula, he studied the Russians very heavily because he felt like they were the smartest players and were cerebral, the best tacticians, and it's by and large, Bloodrun was it is the most popular map and has been for a long time in the CIS region. And we're going to go into this now, Evil versus Rapha, to decide who of these two will be the victor in this best of three.
This should be very, very good. I wonder if they're going to meet in the middle this time after having each a fairly convincing victory. Evil off the beginning, going to be getting that red armor to start with, not going to encounter any trouble where you sometimes get at the beginning of a ZTN game. So Rapha following through that teleport is going to allow Evil just to pick up a couple of extra important weapons on the map. The LG, though, as Rapha's dropping on the ground, that may be not very favorable for him. Who's going to have the slightly better stack? The shotgun, he tries to clutch it again, but not this time. And he's Evil hoping to get on that red as quickly as possible. He's not able to break away from it whatsoever. And that was a crater, I think, right at the end.
Yeah, and this is really bad for Evil. But again, this is that spot. Oh no, the pummel comes out. That is pretty scary, but it's all right because the Mega is up, and this is the key point actually, is that Rapha was able to make the engagement, or rather the engagement happened, was forced on him by Evil in a spot where Evil didn't have time to safely get onto that following item, and this created chaos. Now Rapha's in control. He's got he's not even in control right now of all the items, but he has 2 frag lead. That red's up, but it's very scary. There's the rail connected. He does get away though.
That angle, somehow Kilson always managed to push them off the red and not able to pick it up, and Evil not quite able to do that. But he's already done some pretty good damage. It's slightly favorable here, but Rapha gets a nice cheeky rail right at the end to put him ever so slightly in an advantage.
Yeah, Evil, he's in that really annoying spot on Bloodrun where you just can't really have much presence. He's going to try, though, and he's going to get caught, and that is bad. 3-0 now, and the timing is okay because nothing's spawning directly right now, so he might have the opportunity to maybe pick up one of these yellows and then maybe get a look in on one of these bigger items. But he just needs the item times, and he needs to collect, the lightning gun, the rockets, and the rail. These are really important weapons for Evil at the moment, so it might take a while. This might be finally some downtime for Rapha to really get a healthy stack.
Yeah. That's probably that last fight as well, is Evil had the rail out in a close range fight. I was picking up Evil so much earlier, saying he's never makes those mistakes. He can't make those mistakes anymore. It cost him a really easy kill. And now he's had his health shaved down to about 15 points. That 50 health bubble is gone. I think it was Rapha who took it last time round anyway, and Evil was just hoping that he could take that himself, but it just wasn't around.
Yeah, Rapha set up that kill really well. There was just so few options for Evil. Easy situation from the read. The finish with the shotgun, able to catch another one off the spawn, and is starting to get a little bit out of control here for Evil in more ways than one. He needs to be able to slow things down and start cycling those yellows, and that is because he's too many frags behind. He can't let it get any more than this with just 3 minutes played. He's got to slow it down right now.
Yeah, I mean, Rapha's gone basically Super Saiyan mode. Just wasn't expecting this level of dominance from him so soon on the map. I mean, he was absolutely relentless with the aggression, where you expect him to play a more passive style, at least to feel things out, but it wasn't happening. Evil, he needs to show us why he is a master of this map, and he needs to play that defensive game and stop trying to beat Rapha at every possible occasion when he's not super well equipped or doesn't have a stack that even matches what Rapha has. He gets himself on the red. Important move. He did risk losing a bit of life there, but made it work, and this could show us maybe in the next 20-30 seconds, if he's able to gather a few more resources, a fight that could potentially go his way.
Yeah, it's good to see that Evil is able to slow it down.
Yeah, that was very important.
Yeah, I mean, the problem is, though, is that he's got to be very careful which engagements he actually decides to take and when. Because, you have to kind of just say at some point, it's okay that you have a 200-200 stack. That's okay. My game plan does not involve shaving off that stack just yet. It involves trying to get to like 150, 200 armor and then getting the dive on the Mega, something like that, so you can have the effective stack the same.
Ouch.
But that's a great rocket, and that can change things here in the equation for Evil, because now he can feel more confident if the Mega is coming up, or to try to lock Rapha out of positioning on the red. And there is a good deal of time between the red and the Mega, so there's a lot to play for right now for Evil. He could get back into this one. He goes for the engagement on the Mega as well.
Rapha's early for the Mega. That was a 10-second miss time just there. Evil ever so slightly better off on the health, but you know, one rail is going to get the frag for either of them at this point. And that is Mega. I think Evil should be able to cycle back on and get the red armor himself. Is he going to take everything? No, he's missed out top yellow. That's it. Evil is playing with a lot more items than Rapha at the moment, but we're going to keep seeing that defensive play.
So very nicely done here from Evil to get himself in this position. Now everything is up for grabs, but you can see Rapha's trying to listen. He's trying to play the position. He's going to just go for the silent drop there, and both players kind of mutually catching each other. And so I don't want to fight just yet. We can split on the items potentially, as you can see Rapha gets a bit of pressure in there, but the grenade should buy him space to pick up the red. That said, Evil gets himself out there, and he gets a sneaky rail. He forfeits taking the Mega immediately. Now Rapha he won't see when the Mega's taken, but he's sort of calculated, he's sort of guess and extrapolate when he thinks it's going to be. And look at the pressure from Evil. This is exactly what he's got to do.
Oh, what one of those grenades landed on Even as well. That's tied up the stacks. Maybe even slightly in favor of Rapha, to be honest. The lower yellow is up. Evil, he's just sitting on the grenade. He knows that red's going to be next. His aim has been fantastic, and he is going to get himself on the board here on the Intel Bloodrun map. And we got a yellow for him to work with as well. He can take control of this Mega. And maybe now that we've got to the second half of the map, we're going to see him able to battle a little closer and close that gap. Is he going to push for this one? Pretty risky play from him, and Rapha is going to be slipping away. You know, sometimes this spam that works with, I mean, you get a lot of players that aren't really in favor of spam, but sometimes tactically you need to do it just so you can earn yourself a little bit of space.
So Evil now in a position where he can try to hunt down Rapha, and guess where he is, and he's found him. Doesn't connect the rail, though that's unfortunate for Evil, but all the items are spawning. So as soon as he just clears these out, and again, it's a nice bit of time between both of them spawning, so he can get to both without too much trouble. Ooh, almost didn't make that,
That was a close one.
He did get it in the end. But now he's got a good 15-20 seconds to commit to trying to find Rapha and kill him, or at least get a severe amount of damage before again the same cycle repeats itself.
Yeah, he wasn't able to get a kill quickly off of the last one, so Rapha's still got so much stack to go against. It's massively risky for Evil because he's so much more likely now to be weakened severely after the next fight. Somehow he's going to have to get a relatively clean frag or time it so that all the items spawn just after it happens. This
is the problem right now because, that was really key that Rapha threw those grenades over for Evil because it confirmed his position, allowing Evil to get himself a rocket jump up there. Because you can see Evil really needs this frag right now. He's leaving both items up, both the red and the Mega. That can go very wrong sometimes, but he's going to get both of them. Again, I think it really helped him that Rapha shot those grenades, and now Evil back on the hunt. He needs to find Rapha. He's running out of time.
That was a lot of respect. I think Evil understanding the respect game, even though he left the Mega up for quite a while, he knew that Rapha wasn't going to challenge him in that instance. I think that was a rail landed there from Rapha. Again, evening out those stacks. He's not going to make the jump at all. I wonder if, yeah, Evil should be able to hold on to that. Nice and tight.
Rapha's doing so well at evading Evil, being Mr. Elusive. And once again, he will show himself only for a few milliseconds before disappearing again. All Evil's seeing right now is grenades and smoke, but no Rapha. But finally...
Oh, the rail though! Why have you got the rail out? Should have a different weapon. There was an opportunity for so much more to happen. Just he's found Rapha at the top, but he's been bounced around. He's got to fall to the floor with that LG pinned against him. And he knows exactly when all the items are up, but... it's not going to plan because Rapha, he's killed so much time by just making these awkward little fights to play with. Does Evil feel that he's missed time, or is he sat here for quite a long period?
Yeah, this is starting to get pretty awkward here for Evil as he continues to try to chase this deficit.
Oh, that damage.
Equalize it. And a couple rockets thrown up there by Rapha. Once again, the engagement, Evil just can't drop down. He can't drop down an opponent with the LG. It doesn't matter how much health and armor Evil would have in that situation. Rapha's too stacked, he would just die. So 1 minute left to get 4 frags. This doesn't look like he's going to be able to make this at this rate.
He somehow pushed him out of this room, but does it even matter? Nothing was spawning there. Evil's stack. He's trying to play as if he's got more, some kind of a facade at this point. But now 60 seconds left. Get yourself 4 frags against a player who's just had basically perfect defensive play on this map.
Yeah, he's made all the right guesses, and you can see that it makes Evil look like he's not doing anything. It's just that Rapha's able to just predict or always choose the right option. If there is a coin flip, he always is going to land with the perfect decision. And there it is, indeed, 6-1. I think, are we going to get the GG?
Evil called the GG already, but I don't know if he's going to reciprocate further with the actual forfeit itself. But it's safe to say that Rapha has taken down map number 3. And pretty up and down. I say it was very down for Rapha at the beginning, but I mean, he's just completely wasn't stopping at all.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really good example of how the first engagement can really dictate the entire match, because we saw that first key engagement where there was a drop down right before the items were spawning with the LG. Okay, Evil won that, but then the spawn was pretty decent for Rapha. He gets the pressure on, all the items are still up, and then Evil can't get anything, and he craters, and then loses everything. That is a really frustrating position. Brutal. But so the thing is, right, is that he did there's something that he does tend to do. He likes to bum rush people, and he did that to the point of 5 frags, and then he was like, okay, kind of need to slow it down now, play slow. Yeah. Imagine if he played slow right from the start. Maybe he would have had a much better chance, because he did get a frag in the end. So yeah, that's the difference.
I feel that maybe, though, that's still the sort of feeler. I think we might see a very different kind of atmosphere in the games if they have them later on in the tournament, when it is going to be, you know, do or die. You win or you're out of the tournament, or at least knocked down to the loser bracket area. But I still feel that gives great confidence to Rapha moving forward in this. It does look as if we've got a little interview set up, I believe. So what we're going to do is we're going to switch over this in just a moment. I'll hold on to the camera for just a couple of seconds. But what we're going to be having after as well is a sort of a small interlude into the actual bracket section of the tournament. So there's probably going to be just a tiny bit of time after the interview where we're going to be resolving things, setting things up, seeing who's going to be playing who, and then we'll obviously be able to bring you some more Quake Live Duel action. Yeah, and
it's great to see that the series turned out in the way that it did, because I feel like we got a pretty.
Are you happy with that outcome?
Well, even though Rapha won, it kind of felt like a stalemate-ish situation. It felt like there's one approach from Evil that he took, didn't quite work out, but I felt like both players were pretty even. I feel like the tables could easily have been turned, and we saw a pretty dominant map for one player, and then for the next player. It felt pretty even overall. Yeah. So I like that. I think, you know, if these guys are to play a best of 5 at some point in the future, it's going to be a really awesome matchup. I just hope that Evil's map pool is a little bit deeper than it typically has been in the past. Yeah. So that's usually where he falls down, is like when you get to those drawn out series in a best of 5 against someone like Rapha, who is very good across every map, then he has problems.
I feel that one advantage that Rapha has is that he's so much better than other players on maps like Elder and Hektik.
Exactly.
I think those are his two sort of, they're the key cards, because you can only, when you get to the best of 5s, you're only dropping one map. So it means by default, basically, you're going to have a hard time on either of the other two. And it's something that not enough people take seriously, I think, is really being that versatile in all the maps.
Oh yeah, it's a really big deal, especially considering that you have a lot of maps coming in and out. I mean, no map is, it feels like no map's sacred anymore. So you could lose one of your best maps. And we've seen that happen to players where they'll look at a map pool for a tournament, they'll be like, oh, I don't really want to play in the tournament anymore. But then if Aerowalk's in there, okay, you know.
That makes it interesting.
So now I'm ready to play. You know, I mean, this is a thing for Strengths, for example. Strengths would often be a player that was like, well, this
I'll come to QuakeCon if Aerowalk's in.
Exactly, yeah. I think he probably said that a bunch of times. And that was a big selling point for him. I think there was maybe years, because he did a comeback at one point, and that was one of the reasons, yeah.
I think Campgrounds is another of his
Campgrounds and Aerowalk.
His favourites.
Yeah, because he actually is like, if those two maps are in, I can win the tournament.
Yeah, so I've got a chance. There is hope here.
Yeah.
But Rapha's like, you know, put any map you like, I'll win the tournament.
Yep.
No matter what. And actually, that's one thing that when we've seen Cypher play as well, that he's also very good no matter what. And all the players at that level of skill level in Quake, even if a new map comes in, you're gonna hone your skills, learn that map very quickly anyway.
Yeah, Cypher is just so talented, man. He's just It's very, very good.
I feel that even since last QuakeCon, he had a bit of it. He didn't really flourish that much. He went out of the tournament much earlier than people realized, and it was almost like a sort of burnout or something like that. And I feel that I don't know if that negativity dragged him into this part of it as well, but it's
it's rare to have perfection.
Yeah.
The only perfect human we had for a while was Toxic. In the Quake 4 days.
He's a perfect human, is he?
In the Quake 4 days, he was the perfect human. Yeah, the Terminator. Well, he was. Well, his nickname, what the community called him was the Terminator, because he just was almost emotionless and was just winning tournaments back to back to back to back and seemed untouchable, which is really cool. That streak of dominance and the way that he did it with the level of competition at play, that was somewhat unprecedented in many ways. To the level that he showed.
I forget if it was 2014 or 15 here at QuakeCon, where he had an incredible run as well.
2014, I think I was there.
Yeah,
I think so. It would have been 2014.
He had an absolutely incredible run where people were just, mouth open. I just couldn't believe what was going on. His aim was unbelievable, and I think players were just getting, visually angry at just playing against him because he was an absolute tank. But then somehow there was a small break, and he lost that zen focus and just wasn't able to bring that level back. Yeah. But you saw those shines. What I can only imagine. I was sort of nostalgic for some of the players in the Quake 4 days, of seeing him there back at what looked like top level again. I do
wonder actually. If we do have. With the Quake champions and everything, whenever that comes out, if we do get this spot where a lot of the old Quakers can be like, what, I'm gonna come back.
One last hurrah.
One last hurrah, yeah. Because a lot of the thing is that in 2013, Zeroforce put it very well, and in an interview, it's like, how can you retire from a hobby, right? People don't really retire from playing these games and going to QuakeCons. It's not really what it's about necessarily. It's more about just the pure competition and just loving Quake, basically. So if you have those two things, and all those guys do, and a lot of them actually exclusively play Quake as well, especially the QuakeWorld guys who've been playing Quake, probably a lot of them for 20 years.
Was that out in 95?
96, 95, 96. Well, this is the 20-year anniversary, so...
okay, we can... Maths 96. Works here, yeah, I can do that.
But yeah, those guys have been playing forever, and exclusively that game. It's like, again, it's like, for example, if it is a sport, right? If you love playing football or something, you can play football for the rest of your life. You don't have to necessarily be interested in tennis or jump onto anything else. That can be enough. And for a lot of these people, because of the competition, it is enough.
Exactly.
And that's what it's about.
And I think this is going to leave us so much room to talk about all kinds of things with QuakeWorld.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And particularly yourself and Jahar providing some amazing levels of insight, because I think really the sort of the passion they show in the game for that long period of time. You think it's impressive in Quake Live? It's absolutely You can't help but have enormous respect for the players for being that committed. It's incredible, and it's going to be basically a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity for a lot of viewers to see QuakeWorld. Yeah. Put it in a many $1,000 tournament where they're going to be competing for huge sums, and with some fantastic trophies that have been crafted as well. So yeah, very much looking forward to that. But also the Quake Live Duel. It seems so. It's Milton. You're going to have to educate me a little bit on the QuakeWorld. We seem to have the favorites in the finals as Rapha, Evil for Quakelive Duel, and we've got Milton
and Rickle,
who are basically the favorites. Do you think they're overwhelming?
They're not undefeatable, but they're very, very good, and definitely the favorites. You've got essentially the two best one-on-one players. Milton is considered to be the best 4-on-4, 2-on-2, and if he wants to play one-on-one, then he can be the best one-on-one player in the world as well for like the last 10 years. But we have to hold that thought, because the interview is finally ready with Jahar. So let's see who he's going to be talking to and what they have to say.